What's going on, guys? RapGuide Gaming here, and welcome to a new video. Today, today I'm going to be touching on a little bit more of a personal topic that I've been asked a lot about recently, and yeah, basically a lot of people have been asking me what my relationship with DJLL Reacts is like. So, yeah. Some people on the internet have been asking me about that. Also, real quick, this has nothing to do with it. I just wanted to let y'all know. I'm not going to be uploading as usual now because I'm trying to focus on work and stuff. So sorry about that. And also, honestly, I'm having really huge problems with my so-called family, who I want nothing to do with at all. Because believe it or not, they are not good people. They may look like it at first glance, but they're not. So yeah, but anyways, now that that's out of the way, I wanted to touch on my relationship with DJLL Reacts because people have been asking about it, and I just wanted to talk about it. So yeah, so I'm talking about basically the entire timeline of it, and basically how it came and what our current status is now. So let's get started. And if you like this video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more content. And stay tuned. Soon I'll be doing a Sims 4 series starting up really soon. And yeah, so stay tuned for that. But anyways, so basically, I think it might be better if we start off where it all began. So we're gonna start off way before I even met DJLL Reacts. So it all started basically back in, I'd say around maybe 2023, I believe 2023, the summer of 2023. It was I'd say 2 weeks after I had graduated 8th grade, and yeah, basically I remember I was on the Bill Jensen Discord server. That was back during those old times, and it's actually crazy how before then I actually got banned from that server and I didn't even troll Bill Jensen, but but somehow my account got unbanned. I don't know if Bill unbanned everyone or I don't know. I know it wasn't an alt account. I know it was my real account. But anyways, on the second time I came on the server, I was in one of the VCs, and that is when I came across YouTuber Baron Brett, who was also sort of part of the community. And we kind of just started talking after a while, and that was the same day that I did my first Bill Jensen troll. That, for those who don't know, that was the one where I said he was dead. So yeah, that happened, and basically it's a little more complicated than that. So, but anyways, moving on. So anyways, yeah, basically, after that day, me and Baron Brett started talking a lot more about, stuff, and we weren't, we weren't really best of friends. We kind of just knew each other, and, I didn't talk to him on a daily basis. It was more of just, kind of like something that I talked about every now and then. But, yeah, anyways, yeah, but anyways, so actually, after a few months, I eventually came across his channel, and I came across him being live, and I don't exactly, remember what came across it. All I remember is, I don't know. All I remember basically was I joined one day, and DJLL Reacts is a moderator on Baron Brett's YouTube streams, or at least was. He does Twitch now, but and she is a moderator on his Twitch streams. But anyways, yeah, at first we didn't really have much of a relationship. She was kind of just there, and I was just kind of there. It was mainly because of Baron Brett. But anyways, yeah, over time, I eventually found her Discord account, and we friended each other, and she was a mod on my Discord server for the longest time. If you've been on my server, you'd know that. On the official RapGuide Gaming server, link in the description, by the way. And anyways, so at first she was we kind of just talked over time. We didn't interact much, and she would just talk about The Last Seduction or something else that I had no clue what she was talking about, and so it was really more of just like there wasn't much going on. It was more of just a thing that started. So yeah, and eventually some stuff happened, and I hadn't spoken to Baron Brett or DJ LL for an extremely long time. And that was until I believe around in 2024 when I got word of course, Chris the YouTuber, who, for those of you who know, I have a bit of, who, by the way, I must just say, Chris has not gotten any better. It's only gotten extremely worse, and he's getting worse by the day, and I'm losing brain cells just talking about him. But anyways, yeah, I received word that Chris the YouTuber was harassing DJ, and well, again, and while we weren't the best of friends, I still cared. So yeah, I eventually joined a GC with Baron Brett, DJ Chris, and ABD or whatever his name is, so who you may know from my other videos. But anyways, yeah, and basically it was just us kind of confronting Chris about it because, yeah, and that's the same GC from my video, Chris the YouTuber Must Be Stopped. If you've seen that video, that was the GC. And if you've seen that video, go check out that video after this, or go check it out right. Pause and go check that out right now. But anyways, for those who have seen the video, you may know that Chris has done, I don't want to say on YouTube, but he's done some pretty bad stuff. And genuinely it has got, and it's only gotten progressively worse to this day. So yeah, but anyways, eventually, that's kind of how, I think that was the point where me and DJ sort of started hanging out a little more. It was, we used to talk a lot, and eventually then the server got made, the Chris server, and, that was a server dedicated to protecting her from Chris, specifically. So, yeah, but anyways, basically Chris and I, not Chris, sorry, DJ and I, eventually DJ started watching a bunch of movies, and eventually I suggested she try watching, The Terminator with us, the first Terminator movie. And so, yeah, and eventually I said, I'll watch it with you if I want. So, and from that, and we watched it, she loved it, and it was basically that after that, we just started watching movies together. And it kind of just became like our little thing. And eventually we started to get to know each other a lot better, and soon enough we became best friends. And to this day, she is still very much my best friend, and yeah. But but unfortunately, the story doesn't end there. There is a lot more to talk about. Okay, so okay, so other than Chris, there was other controversies, and originally I wasn't planning on talking about this because because it's been over now, and it was preferred not to have talked about it, but whatever. And also, a lot of people are gonna say a lot of stuff, so honestly, don't believe everything you hear, because I know for a fact people are gonna say something else happened, but truth be told, there's actually a lot more to it than meets the eye. So basically, and also, I know, Lily, if you're watching this, I know you didn't really want people to know, but I gotta talk about it. Basically, at one point, and also it really doesn't matter anymore, but basically at one, I had no clue about this at the time when I only heard about it apparently. So apparently 4 years before I met her, she had been dating someone who will remain. I'm not going to say their name to avoid controversy, but let's just say they had been together for 4 years, I guess, and apparently it was not a good relationship. It was a very verbally abusive relationship, and eventually they got word that DJ was hanging out with me a lot more than them, and they grew jealous, and so eventually they decided that they're going to take this out on both me and her, and just start making false rumors and trying to, and they made the weird assumption that they're gonna put a bounty on my head, but so far nothing has happened, and this was like, I'd say at least 6 months ago. This was 6 months ago that happened, and I never made, and that, in fact, this is one of the reasons, and eventually they started raiding my streams and saying a bunch of stuff, so that's why I did that temporary YouTube quit like a month ago. So, yeah, and basically I think that was at the point where DJ and I kind of had a falling out at one point, because she said she was going to cut ties with me because this guy told her to. But we eventually made up, and yeah, and thankfully now and this went on for months, I'd say. This at the very least, like at least 3 months, maybe more, but eventually, finally, this ended, and they're no longer together, and so, yeah. So, yeah, this eventually happened, and so that was officially over, and thank God, because I don't know how much longer I was able to take of it. It just got so bad. It was, honestly. But, anyways, yeah, and so, eventually we went back to our old ways. We used to be, we just started hanging out more with watching movies, and Baron Brett eventually joined us, and yeah, and we've basically we're just best friends to this day, and it wasn't until recently that things got a little bit deeper, but I'm not gonna get into that. But anyways, yeah, so that's really mostly the timeline of of my relationship with DJ Reacts, and as for our current relationship, we are best friends, and people have been asking me stuff like, "Oh, is she your girlfriend? Or are you guys a couple, or stuff like that?" And and I'm gonna be brutally honest with you guys. I'm not, but I do genuinely care about DJ, and she is arguably probably the closest friend I've ever had in the longest time, and but there's not anything crazy between us. We're just friends, and maybe it'll turn into something different. I don't know. Maybe one day maybe we'll start a relationship one day. But I seriously doubt that'll happen. Or sorry, I doubt that won't happen. But anyways, But yeah, and also DJ didn't want to talk about it, so I figured I would just talk about it. So for those of you who are asking, now you know. Now you know the whole story. So yeah, and I do intend to do future collabs with her. So yeah, we've got our relationship is a very weird one, but I still enjoy it, and I would never trade it for anything. So yeah. So yeah, but anyways, that's gonna be it for this video. I hope y'all liked this video. If you enjoyed it, like, share, and subscribe. And yeah, and again, do not listen to everything you hear. There are people that are definitely gonna say something different happened, but truth be told, a lot of people have interpreted it in many different ways. I'm just telling you what I know. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Before I was so rudely interrupted, but anyways, yeah, again, a lot of stuff is gonna happen. We've come a very long way, and I don't know what's gonna happen and what's not gonna happen, but that's just all I know. But anyways, yeah, that's it for now. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Laters.